And that's why itqan is a beautiful thing. That's why, I mean, this culture is mesmerized by itqan. You know, Michael Jackson is, you know, he's mesmerizing because he could do something, it's a silly thing, but he could do it better than anybody else. And so people, they'll pay money to see that. And that's what they're really into. They're not into, they're into like, how does he do that? Well, he did it by practicing 8 hours a day. You know? But people don't see that. They just see the end result. And then they think it's magical. It's not magical. It's just really hard work. And talent. I mean, you need talent. There's no doubt about that. That's the extra factor of talent. But that's true of anything, whether it's music, sports. I mean, people are paying all that money to watch these guys because they can throw a basket from a place that if you try to do it, you won't get it every time you do it, but they get it most of the time they do it. And the more they get it, the more higher they are paid, and the more people want to watch them. But all they're really wanting to see is that itqan. That's what mesmerizes them. It's a waste of, I mean, one of my favorite stories is that ar-rashid had a majlis where people used to come in and do, you know, it was kind of like a gong show or something. It was, people used to come in and do things to amuse him. And if he liked them, he would reward them, and if he didn't, he would. But one man could take, you know, old pre-modern needles were quite big, but he could take needles and throw a needle through the eye of the other needle. And he could do this like consistently. And so he did it, you know, and ar-rashid had ordered to have him, he got 10 lashes and 40 dinars. And the man didn't understand it, and he asked him to explain why he was punishing him and rewarding him. And he said the reward is for the itqan, but the punishment is for the time wasted in mastering what you've mastered. Archery is a very important art. Imam al-Bukhari was a master archer. And one of his students said, I was with him for 20 years and he practiced archery every morning. Imam al-Bukhari. He said, in the 20 years I was with him, I never saw him miss the bullseye once. Now that to me is al-Bukhari. Because that's what he was doing with the hadith. He was hitting the bullseye with the hadith. And that's what archery teaches you, is it teaches you that if you miss the bullseye, don't blame it on the bow, don't blame it on the arrow, blame it on yourself. Because it's about readjusting. You're either too short, too long, too much to the left, too much to the right. So it's learning how to readjust your own mistakes in order to change the situation. Anybody, you know, any people can excel in sports. Some of the most extraordinary athletes on the planet come from the poorest countries. Kenya produces the greatest long-distance runners in the world. Central Africa, some of the greatest soccer players. But those are all excellence. It's about excellence. When you have this idea of itqan in your culture, the idea of really excelling in something. I think the Arabs should win every year in the every 4 years in the horses. I mean, this is their tradition. They gave the world the horses. And those are things that Muslims can do. They can excel. There's so many things we can excel at that we're not excelling at, because there's no love of excellence and there's no understanding of self-correction, that we need to be disciplined in and of ourselves. We can't blame things always on the circumstances outside of ourselves.
محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن